What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Tuesday. It is July 30th. It is the MLB trade deadline. We're going to see some moves today. We're going to have to be cautious about that. So, listen to the video. Use some caution today because some of these plays are probably going to get traded. Depending on when you watch this video, they may have already gotten traded. So do not just set your lineup and forget it. We need to set our lineup and we need to be vigilant. My suggestion is to set your lineup, do what you want. If you have a Twitter account, follow us obviously at advisors_team or X or whatever you want to call it. But also, I would say go follow Jeff Passan on Twitter /X. Hit the bell notification for every single time he sends a tweet out. You will see the trades that go through. That is a fantastic way to stay on top of the game there and don't get screwed over by using players that get, a big fat zero. So we already saw on Monday, which we didn't have a video because I overslept and I apologize. We already saw on Monday that Jack Flaherty was scratched from his start in anticipation of getting traded. I don't know if we're going to see that every single time, but we definitely need to pay attention to that because we could see that throughout the day today. So that being said, if you are new to the channel, if you find this video helpful, hit that like button, hit that bell notification, ring it so you guys know when we go live or when we get videos out, and subscribe to the channel. You have great opportunities here, hopefully, to help you bring home that bacon. So you can see the videos a little bit longer. You can see that we go a little bit more in depth than normal. We're going to look at all the games that we can possibly play with DFS. We're going to look at the pitchers. We're going to look at the bats in those games as well. Now, again, it's a little bit of crazy day today compared to maybe if you're, new to MLB and you've never played the trade deadline. It's going to get crazy today, but hopefully we're here to help you out. We have giveaways every single day. 2 ways. Like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment on the video. If this video gets at least 50 likes and you've left a comment, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA+. That includes every sport that is offered. Current sports, we have MLB, NASCAR, PGA, and MMA. NASCAR is off one more week, so it'll be next week. If the video gets at least 100 likes, you have a chance at a free month of FTA+, which is a $30 value. 150 likes is a $200 free year, and 200 or more likes is a lifetime pass worth $500. So, that being said, that is the first way. The second way, somewhere in this video, I'll have a keyword. Just type that keyword in there. You have a chance to win 2 times every single day, which we've never had before, but we're on the lookout to start that right now. So we're going to have the giveaway from Sunday's video. In that video, we had almost 1,500 likes, 69 comments, 1,500 views, 142 likes. So we were very close to giving away a yearly pass. So back-to-back videos this past weekend, 130 likes and 142 likes. So very close to having those passes out there. But we're here now. Let's see who's going to win the free month and then the free week for the keyword. So good luck to everyone, and you can win every single day. We've had multiple people win, definitely. I'm new here. Let's go. Daquan Thornton, congratulations. New here, and you already won a monthly pass to DFS at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So all I need you to do, like this video, and then email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp, the number 1@gmail.com, and say you're the monthly winner, and a username and email you would like on the website if you do not already have an account on the site. Now, this did not have the keyword in that, so we are going to re-roll it anyway until we see the keyword from Sunday, which was, if you remember, or if you're new to the channel you don't know, was outlier. New York Stiegel, congratulations. That's another new name, I believe. Congratulations, you won as well. Email me with a username and password and say you were the keyword winner and the date, and we will get you set up for those free passes, both of you. So congratulations. Come back tomorrow and the next day and the next day. You have a chance to win. So we have a little bit of split slate here. We have an early one and then a main slate of 11 games. We have a very early game that doesn't even have the Detroit pitcher yet because of how everything is shaking out with them possibly being sellers. We might see some, like a bullpen game and stuff like that. So this is a very early game for whatever reason. We're not going to play this because it's not on an early slate. Then we get to Baltimore, kind of the same thing. That's to be announced because they had a doubleheader on Monday. They might have to shake it up and get a new pitcher in there. So anytime there are no pitchers listed here and they're not on DraftKings, we will update that once we go through our simulations, projections, stuff like that. So if you're new to the channel, towards the end of this video, we're going to give you the top 5 pitchers on this slate that have a fantastic chance at pitching strikeouts against opposing teams. Now, we call that pitches be crazy, and it's the top 5 pitchers against the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most out of every single team out there. So be on the lookout for that. And then at the end of the video, we're going to give you all of the players after our simulations that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating today. Those could change a little bit once we see the ballpark factors change and we see the weather come out and stuff like that. But ballpark factors today, there's some wind. There's some games to be had here. Great American Small Park, 48% chance of home runs. The wind is, as of the making of the video, blowing directly out center field. Cubs, Reds, we got to get exposure to this game. Next one is Citizens Bank Park, the Yankees at the Phillies, 24% chance. Then we've got a guaranteed rate field, the Royals at the White Sox, blowing out to right field, or right center, 25% chance for home runs. And then Citi Field between the Twins and the Mets is the 12% boost. And if you want to see these boosts and stuff like that, I put screenshots in the Discord down below. Also, the Discord, we go through a lot of things there. So, that being said, we are looking at this first game here. We've got the Blue Jays at the Orioles. Chris Bassett, we stacked against him last time, and it worked out for us. Now he's going up against an Orioles team that I would not pitch against. I would take the Orioles here. I do not trust Chris Bassett whatsoever, as far as I can throw him. And that's kind of where I'm kind of looking at this game here. I don't want Bassett. I don't trust him. I'm looking at Baltimore bats here. So depending on who the Baltimore pitcher is, then we could maybe look. But there are rumblings that Vladdy might get traded. I don't know if that's possible, but that is a chance. That's kind of something to look at here. So you've got Vladdy, would make sense for Toronto. But we kind of have to wait to see who the pitcher is. Now with the Baltimore bats that I'm looking at, obviously Gunnar Henderson, love Gunnar Henderson against a righty. He's batting over 300 against a righty pitcher. He's got double-digit home runs there, so I love that there. Another one I would look at would be Colton Cowser or Jordan Westberg. Anthony Santander as another one that I really love. You could look a little bit at Adley, but I don't know if I trust him enough. The 2 names that have been rumored to be in the trading mix, or 3 names, Connor Norby, Cedric Mullins, and Ryan O'Hearn are possibly in that trade scenario, trade block there. So it's definitely something to look at, but I absolutely love an Orioles stack here against Chris Bassett. I want absolutely nothing to do with Chris Bassett. I am looking at the Orioles bats, and we can't really go over the Toronto bats until we know who the actual Orioles pitcher will be today. Next game, Yankees at the Phillies. You got Garrett Cole versus Aaron Nola. Now, Garrett Cole has looked a little bit weary to start the season so far. Phillies, obviously a great hitting team. We know that. You dig in, and you see it's 129 plate appearances. So it's a decent chunk of plate appearances and a 311 batting average against him. And then you look at that. Kyle Schwarber has 2 home runs, 6 for 25, batting 240. Trey Turner's 4 for 17, so not huge. Austin Hayes getting traded over 5 for 17 with 3 doubles. Nick Castellanos has his number for whatever reason, 7 for 18 with a double and a triple. And then you have JT Realmuto batting 11 for 20. It's a 555 batting average, or 550 batting average, and a 1 home run there. So those would be the ones I'd look at. Obviously Bryce Harper if you're trying to get a full stack. And then if you need another one because maybe you don't want to go Austin Hayes, maybe you don't want to go Realmuto, Alec Bohm would be there, or a cheap option would be Bryson Stott. So those would be the bats that I'd look at for Philly. Garrett Cole scares me. Obviously, he's got the offense behind him, but his numbers are a little bit, it's not a normal year for him, starting off hurt, then coming in with not a ton of rehab behind him. And now he has to go into enemy territory and face a fantastic Phillies team. Scares me a little bit. I probably would stack the Philly and kind of go away from him a little bit here. I don't know if I want to pay up for Garrett Cole today. Then we look at Aaron Nola. 240 batting average, up and down kind of guy here. Juan Soto has had his number, has seen him a ton, being in the same division with him for so long. 10 for 36 with 3 doubles and 3 home runs. Those are great numbers. He now has Judge behind him and Stanton in the lineup behind him, along with Jazz. He's got some of that protection again, where he could get on base. He could hit some home runs here. So I do love Juan Soto. Aaron Judge, obviously the best player on the planet right now. I would use him as well. Then it really just comes down to, is Verdugo kind of coming along right now? Is he leading off and starting to get his feeling? He did in Boston. Does that translate and move over to Philly? We shall see. But we've got Anthony Volpe, who's kind of turned it around. So they did, and obviously Jazz, he's 2 for 18, but in this lineup, he might start feeling it and might start having a good time there. So I do not mind either stack here. Obviously, Aaron Nola can strike out a lot of people in this Yankees lineup, depending who's out there. They did designate for assignment J.D. Davis and Jahmai Jones, so we're not going to see those sub 150 batting averages in there. So I don't mind a stack on either side. I might be fading pitching in this one. There's just other places I want to go. I'd rather have the offenses here. Then you got the Marlins at the Rays. You got Edward Cabrera versus Jeffrey Springs. Again, Tampa Bay's kind of in that, chokehold of, are they going to be sellers? And they've already started to. So it's just kind of see what we get. Maybe Edward Cabrera for tournaments could be sneaky. We will see. I don't mind him because Tampa Bay hasn't been the best. And especially if they start, selling off all their good players, it could be a AAA type team out there on this. So, with a small early slate, I do not mind Edward Cabrera here. Jeffrey Springs, I'm probably not on Jeffrey Springs. Miami, you've got Jake Berger I would look at. Now, I could see him getting traded. I don't know. We will definitely see. Xavier Edwards has been on fire, hit for the cycle on Sunday, I believe. I would definitely look at him. I mean, you can find other guys to play here, like Jesus Sanchez is another one. Brian De La Cruz is another one. Cheaper options, Nick Fortes or Otto Lopez, if you want to go a full Miami stack here. Now, you don't have to, but I could see you going that way. Tampa Bay, they don't really do it for me right now. I'm probably fading Tampa Bay as it is. So then we get to, that's the early slate. Early slate's done. We get to the Cubs at the Reds. Like I said, they have the best chances for home runs there, and we've looked at that, and I do not mind them. But what we're going to do is use our sponsor for everything from here on out. So if you don't know what the sponsor is, these videos are sponsored by Outlier.bet. Now, Outlier.bet is a fantastic website, helps you with sports betting. It shows trends, it shows insights, it shows popular bets from all of the big websites, all the big sports betting websites, Fanduel, DraftKings, ESPN Bet, Caesars, BetMGM, Bet365. And what I love is it is a combination of about 5 to 10 different websites throwing in all of this information for you, throwing in everything you would need to either play DFS. It can help narrow down the DFS players, or if you are sports betting. So what I like to do is just to come in here and look at the games, the players that we like in these games, what we want to do. So we're going to break down each and every game using the sponsor. And the link is in the description of this video for this sponsor. If you sign up, go through a 7-day free trial. They have a $30 monthly package. We're going to give you a free month of FTA Plus on top of what you get with them. They do have a pro version, which has the EV Plus, the boost, the arbitrage, and the middle bets for $130 a month. If you sign up, go through the 7 days, do the $130, show us that you signed up with our link, we are going to give you 3 months free of FTA Plus, which includes DFS and sports betting on top of what they bring to the table. So if you guys are interested, check the link down below. Let's have some fun. Let's win some money together. So we are going to take a look at this game here, the players that we like for both sides. The way the wind is blowing out scares me a little bit with the pitching. But in this pitching, Justin Steele versus Frankie Montas in this ballpark scares me to use some pitching. But if we want to look at these bats. Now the Cubs, they're trading. They're like buyers and sellers, okay? They traded Chris Morel, which surprised me, for Isak Paredes. Now, I would definitely use him in this lineup if he is there and starting, which he should be because he did get traded on Sunday. So he should be in this lineup. But then it's like the Cubs offense really haven't put a ton of runs on the board since the All-Star break. But let's take it down a little bit. Let's look at the pitchers against the batters here. So the problem is Montas has already faced the Cubs once this year. 13.5 strikeouts per 9. Only went 1.1 innings, got lit up. So, and we can look at that, and you can kind of just see Frankie Montas comes in at 7,700, splits-wise, 1.1 innings, 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, didn't do much. He's got a 5 ERA. He has really not done much this season. Like, none of these numbers are great. What you're looking for is about 2.5 to 3.5 times value. On DraftKings, you need at least 20-plus fantasy points to take down a GP. In theory, you pretty much need like 25 to 30 fantasy points from your pitcher to take down a GPP or cash very high, unless you hit every single batter and each one has a home run or something like that. He's only averaging 10.2 fantasy points per game. I want nothing to do with pitching in this game, either side. I know Justin Steele comes in, fourth highest priced pitcher on the slate. He's already faced them once or twice this year. 12 innings pitched, 8 runs, 4 of them earned. Does have 12 strikeouts, but the way the wind's blowing and the way this game could play out, I love just to stack both sides. So if I'm looking at Cubs bats against Montas, and you can just see if anyone's had success, no home runs, but depending on the lineup that comes out for the Cubs, always going to look at Nico Horner there. I'm looking at Michael Busch with 11 bombs there. Seiya Suzuki, 275 batting average against righties this year, 12 home runs. Ian Happ, 227, under the league average, but he's got 12 home runs as well. It's kind of where I'm looking at. Miguel Amaya could be a sneaky option, be a cheap option on a slate like this. But then the Reds bats that I'm really looking at here. It was very surprising that Rhys Hines got sent down. He was the player of the week a couple weeks ago. Now he got sent down. So that's kind of a bummer for him. But if you are looking at a Cincy stack, obviously Ellie De La Cruz makes a lot of sense. Tyler Stevenson, we love to take Tyler Stevenson against lefties. You guys know this. I would definitely look at him. I'd be looking at Spencer Steer, batting 248 against lefties. Jake Fraley, batting 297. Stuart Fairchild, 305 batting average. Jonathan India, 305 as well. India's name has been in the rumor mill for trades, so definitely pay attention. Make sure he is in that lineup, but I do not mind a stack there. Both sides. I think I like a little bit more of a red stack, but I could see a Cub stack just as well. Then you got the Mariners at the Red Sox. You got Luis Castillo versus James Paxton. Look at this. Just a fantastic jersey swap they've already got there. Still can't believe the Dodgers let him go. And then we see him starting damn near right at the beginning. Now, that tells you a lot about Boston pitching. They need pitching. It's crazy. And the Mariners do strike out the most out of any team, which we will talk about in the Pitches Be Crazy. But they can also hit very well. And we're kind of going to look at that right now. So if you look at these two teams, both of these teams are in the top 5. So Seattle strikes out the most out of any team. Boston strikes out the third most out of any team. And Luis Castillo could have a good game here. So we look at Castillo here. He's the second highest priced pitcher on this slate, 9,200. Splits-wise, he's already faced Boston once this year. Only had 5 strikeouts and did give up 4 earned runs. So that's a little bit where it's like, what are we going to get out of him? He's got 23, 30, but 11 and a 7 there. Scares me a little bit. And this is in Boston. As long as the weather holds up, I don't know if I want to pay up this much for Castillo, but we'll see. If we are looking at taking Seattle bats against Boston, the bats that have success against lefties. Mitch Garver batting 241 with 6 bombs. You've got Randy Arozarena, who, 261 against lefties. Overall, his batting average this year is 215, but he does smash lefties here. 6 home runs. I would not be surprised if he hits one here as well. Cal Raleigh only batting 182, but a switch hitter and big dumpers. Got some home runs out of him. Don't mind him. Kind of like Victor Robles here as a sneaky part of the stack here if you are going in this direction with a Seattle stack. Now, if you do not trust Luis Castillo and you want to look at Boston bats, obviously Devers makes a lot of sense. He's batting .336 against righties, 20 home runs, already has a home run against Castillo in his career. Wilyer Abreu batting .282 with 9 bombs. Jarren Duran, .302 batting average with 11 bombs. Rafaela, 10 home runs. Tyler O'Neill, 13 home runs. I do not mind Yoshida with 2 home runs batting .310. I do not mind a Boston stack here either. I'm probably fading pitching in this one. Let me know if you guys are as well. But yeah, I'm probably fading here for sure. So I do have a question of the day. So as you know, I'm not getting the best of sleep, so I've been trying different energy drinks. This one is Celsius. I don't know if anyone's had Celsius. It's the tropical vibe. But my question is, does anyone have a good tasting, healthy-ish energy drink I should try? Let me know. Let me know if you guys have it. Not talking Red Bull, not talking Alani, something else if you guys have it. Okay, so next game, we've got the Twins at the Mets. You got David Festa versus Sean Manaea in New York. This is a pitcher's ballpark. It's a massive outfield. But we will look at this. Normally, the Twins hit lefties well, and we will definitely dig into those numbers and see. So we go in. Manaea comes in here, 7,900, 3.74 ERA, 6-4 record, 101 strikeouts, already 100 strikeouts. And I forgot to mention, if this video is a little bit too long for you and you want to see an abbreviated version, in the description down below is the article for the day. So it's got about 5 plays at each position. And we've got the pitchers we like, and then we show some stacks at the bottom as well. So if you enjoy it and you need a little bit of break, that helps out the channel by clicking on those. Clicking on the ads helps on this channel, and we do have some merch down below. Buy some stickers, help us out. It would be awesome if you did that. So Manaea comes in at home. It's kind of weird. It is a pitcher's ballpark, but he's got a 4.33 ERA with a 129 whip at home for whatever reason. He's just been better on the road. Minnesota could hit lefties. That scares me. I don't know if I really want Manaea at all. And then Festa comes in, 6,000. Game log-wise, hasn't done much. Hasn't gone deep into games. Did pretty good against Philly, but, only 4.1 innings. Splits-wise, it's going to be skewed no matter what because he's had 3 total starts. 6,000 though, in a tournament type, I don't mind him for tournaments because 6,000 allows you to go so many other places. But if we do want to look at bats, I do give the advantage to Minnesota. I love Minnesota bats here. If you've been here with us before, love me Ryan Jeffers against a lefty, batting .247 with 4 home runs. Willie Castro batting .323 with 3 bombs. You got Royce Lewis when he's back and healthy, .429 batting average, 3 home runs out of him. Carlos Santana, .312 batting average, 6 home runs. Manny Margot, .290. I think a Minnesota stack could be a sneaky stack today against Manaea in New York. But then if you do not trust David Festa and you want to go the Mets bats here, Francisco Alvarez batting .285 against righties. Pete Alonso with 15 bombs. I would not put it past him there. Jose Iglesias batting .303. I don't know if he's going to be in there, but I don't mind him. Lindor's been absolutely on fire. And then I'm probably looking at Harrison Bader, batting .294 with 6 bombs there. You could also look at Jesse Winker. I don't know if he's going to start. He did just get traded. He's got 10 bombs and a .265 batting average against righties. Let's see if he is in this lineup. We will see. He should be. It's been a few days. He should be in this lineup to hit. So I do not mind Jesse Winker whatsoever. So I do give the advantage to a twin stack, but I do not mind a Met stack either. Next game, you got the Rangers at the Cardinals. The Cardinals trading for Tommy Pham on Monday, just reuniting with Matt Carpenter, Lance Lynn, Tommy Pham. All we're missing is Adam Wainwright coming back and Yadi Molina coming out of retirement. Just let's bring the old guys back. But you got Max Scherzer versus Lance Lynn. What are we going to get out of them? Scherzer coming in, 8,500, game log wise, had his best start of the season, and it was against the White Sox. So, pretty much every team has their best start against the White Sox. He had 9 strikeouts in that game. That's the most he's had all year. Now he's going up against St. Louis, who he has not faced this year. In his career, .213 batting average. He's had success against them. But if we need to dig into the numbers just a little bit, we will. But we've got Lance Lynn here. 7,800. He's got a 4.17 ERA. Splits-wise, he pitches a little bit better at home. 3.59 batting average. But Texas is a good hitting team. He's been very inconsistent. We did take him against Pittsburgh, which he did give up no earned runs, but only had 2 strikeouts. Didn't get us anything at 11.1. 8,200 was way too high priced for him there. They've dropped him down a little bit, but I'm probably fading him yet again. Just looking, I will give the advantage to Scherzer. I think I like Scherzer probably in tournaments more than I do like him in cash. But Texas bats against Lynn is probably where I'm at. Jonah Heim batting .233 with 6 bombs. Corey Seager's another one, .284 batting average, 15 home runs. It depends. Nate Lowe, if he's in there, I do not mind Nate Lowe. He's batting just a nice... It's a .262 batting average, but he has 6 bombs there. Adolis Garcia is the one that I cannot get a read on this year. He's got 13 home runs against righties this year, but batting .196. So if he doesn't run into it, he's usually striking out or getting out. That's the problem there. If you want a couple other options, Wyatt Langford or Leota Taveras could be those options for you in this lineup. If you want to get a little bit crazy, you could even look at Travis Jankowski, but I do not know if he will be in there. And then if you think Scherzer's going to have a bad day and you want to go in the direction of stacking the Cardinals, Wilson Contreras, Nolan Arenado, I would look at Goldie, who had the walk-off on Sunday, walk-off home run. Mason Wynn and Alec Burleson is kind of where I'd go. If you want little cheaper, either Brendan Donovan or Lars Nootbaar. I don't know if I'll have a St. Louis stack today, though. I don't, at the moment, I do not see myself having a St. Louis stack. But you never know what's going to happen. And we could definitely get some other options out there if we need. Pirates at the Astros, you got to be announced because the Pirates are kind of selling as well versus Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown rounds out one of the pitchers for Pitches Be Crazy today. He definitely had his ups and downs this year, but he's the 3rd highest priced pitcher on the slate. A 4 ERA. He did start off very bad. That's why his ERA was so up there. But coming off back-to-back great starts, he had 2 amazing matchups there, Oakland and Seattle. Now he gets Pittsburgh. Hasn't faced Pittsburgh this year. I do not mind him. I do not trust Pittsburgh bats here. I would probably steer clear of them, and I would definitely be looking at just the way I want to go with this one. I'm probably going the Astros bats, okay? So when I look at the Astros bats, you guys know exactly who we would be going for. We kind of got to wait to see who Pittsburgh is, so that's kind of why we can't really dig in. But Yordan, Jose Altuve, Bregman, John Singleton kind of gets there. Depending on who's in the outfield, Loperfido you could look at. You could look at Mauricio Dubon. But whoever the pitcher is, that'll then dictate who we go with bats. At the moment, I would just figure out who that pitcher for Pittsburgh is, stack the Astros, and use Hunter Brown here against Pittsburgh, and I do not mind that at all. That is one of the pitchers that I do like today. Then we got the Royals at the White Sox. You got Michael Walker versus Jonathan Cannon. Now, the White Sox, they're a bad team. We know this, you know this, everybody knows this. Michael Walker, 3.65 ERA. Splits-wise, he's already faced the White Sox 3 times this year. So this is one where he's had a lot of success. 20 innings pitched, 2-1 record, 19 strikeouts. I don't mind it. Coming off a terrible start against Arizona, but faced the White Sox 2 starts ago, 30.8 fantasy points, 7 strikeouts. Would not be surprised if that happens again. I would be looking at the Royals bats, and I would be looking at Michael Wacha. So the Royals bats that I would be looking at, Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino. So the Royals they're going to be buyers. So I don't think, outside, they're not going to give away any great players. They might pull someone in, but they won't be playing in this lineup. So Kyle Isbell makes a lot of sense. Hunter Renfroe would make sense in a Royals stack as well. So in this matchup, I do love Michael Wacha. I'm not going Jonathan Cannon. As long as the weather holds up, I think the Royals are the stack, the way to go. This has always been basically a AAA lineup for the White Sox, especially if they're sellers and they sell Lou Bob Jr., Eloy Jimenez. They already got rid of Tommy Pham. Definitely could see this going a different direction. So I like Michael Wacha here. I like the Royals as a stack. Braves at the Brewers is we don't know. The Braves have a lot of injuries, and they're not 100%. They do think they think Bailey Falter maybe for Pittsburgh, so that's where I'm definitely stacking Houston if it is Bailey Falter. But they don't know if it's going to be Joe Ross to start against Atlanta. So even though he was lit up for 11 earned runs on 14 hits and 5 walks over 8.1 inning in his final 2 rehab starts in AAA, they think they're going to pull him up there. Give me Atlanta stack all day. Every single batter in this Atlanta lineup is fair game for me. It doesn't matter. You got Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Marcell Ozuna. It does not matter. If it is Joe Ross, in fact, Joe Ross, I'm stacking 100%. The Braves are my number one stack here. I do not want Joe Ross whatsoever. But then, is it going to be Bryce Elder? He got sent down, could be sent up. The problem is Reynaldo Lopez injured on Sunday. Their pitching core is bad. Bryce Elder there, splits-wise, he comes in. If it is him, he's got a 6.35 ERA. I am not looking at the bats or the pitchers in this one. I love the Braves as a stack, but I also love Milwaukee as a stack as well. William Contreras, Willie Adames, Rhys Hoskins. It does not matter. Jackson Chourio, Sal Frelick. I honestly feel like this game right here should be the number one target game. You make multiple different lineups with the Braves, multiple different lineups with the Brewers. Find 5 guys you like, make that a stack, find 5 more, or intermingle, change up a little bit. So I love multiple different Braves and multiple different Brewer stacks today. Absolutely love it. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to this game for sure. Hopefully we can afford it, but if we can find that pitching, we should be okay with this game. Then we got the Rockies at the Angels, Cal Quantrill versus Griffin Canning. Battle of the mid, as they would say, kids today, you know. Cal Quantrill comes in. Neither team is amazing at hitting. Splits-wise, he has not faced them this year. 4.09 ERA. Really has not moved the needle here for his price. Just hasn't done much at all. Splits-wise, pitching on the road, actually worse on the road than he is at home, which kind of backwards. I'm not using him, okay? And then the flip side of that, Griffin Canning, he's had a couple of good starts, and then it's not what you like, okay? We definitely don't like 5.12 ERA. It's a very elevated ERA. Splits-wise, he has not faced Colorado this year. On home games, he's got a 4.50 ERA, which is better than on the road, but is still 4.50. I don't want anything to do with pitching there. I want to look at the bats. The bats are where I want to go in this game. If we're looking at, let's see if anyone's had success against him. No home runs against Canning, but the batters I would look at, Elias Diaz, 4 home runs. Ezequiel Tovar is one I would look at. Brenton Doyle is another one I'd look at. I could see, though, it just depends, the Rockies trading some of these guys away. So be on the lookout, because we could see a weird lineup come out of here. Michael Togliai, I do not mind him as a cheap option either. And then an Angels stack against Cal Quantrill. Mickey Moniak, he's batting 800 with 2 bombs against him. I do not mind him. I think he'll go under-owned. Logan O'Hoppe. Nolan Schanuel, I could look at. And then, Zach Neto, Willie Calhoun, Matt Thaiss. I don't mind. But again, Angels are another team that could be sellers. I mean, I don't know what they would be selling here outside of like O'Hoppe, but they definitely could be sellers here. So be on the lookout. But I'm not using the pitching in this game. I'm using the bats. I give the slight advantage to the Angels, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is a high-scoring affair. I do not trust either of these pitchers. Then it gets juicy here. We got Patrick Corbin versus Ryan Nelson. Corbin is bad, okay? The Diamondbacks hit lefties well. They do. We're going to dig in. Ryan Nelson, Patrick Corbin, absolutely don't want anything to do with him, but Nelson down here at 6,300, 4.85 ERA. He's already faced the Nats once this year and actually had success. 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 18 fantasy points, which is great for his price of 6,300. 3 times value, perfect. My problem is when he pitches at home, he is a 6.21 ERA. That's my problem. I'm scared of this one. Washington could be sellers, but I'm scared of that one. Then you got Patrick Corbin, 5.26 ERA. He actually had success against Arizona once this year. Only went 5 innings though. 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. He actually had a good game. I think people are going to see this and go with him. I think I want to take bats in this one. The bats I would look at, depending. If you're looking at Washington bats against Nelson, Riley Adams, CJ Abrams, Luis Garcia, Lane Thomas, and James Wood probably be the ones I'd look at. Don't love them, but that would be what I'd look at. But I'm looking more of an Arizona stack. I do not trust what he did in that game against them before. You can see Ketel Marte, 2 home runs against him. Love Ketel Marte. I love Christian Walker against him. Jake McCarthy batting .371 against lefties. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. batting .331 against lefties with 5 bombs. Those are the bats I would look at here against against Patrick Corbin. I want nothing to do with Patrick Corbin. Maybe one lineup I have Ryan Nelson, but I'm probably stacking both sides. I love Arizona as a stack more, but I don't mind a Washington stack if you're one that makes like 20 plus lineups. Then you got the Dodgers at the Padres. Tyler Glasnow versus Matt Waldron. Glasnow coming in, highest priced pitcher on the slate. Game logs, pitched. Last time he pitched, he hasn't done well for a little bit. He obviously got, he was off for a couple of weeks. Only pitched 5 innings on his way back. He did struggle with his command. So that is something we look at. I think people are going to see that. He is expensive, and the majority of the year, when we've taken a pitcher that was 10,000 plus, 9 times out of 10 has not worked out for us this year. He does have a good matchup here in a pitcher's ballpark, and he might go under owned. Definitely pay attention on our cheat sheet. Under the MLB tab, you can go to the cheat sheet. It has ownership percentages and projected ownerships. We could look at that, see what his ownership is. I think we could get a little bit above the field here with Glasnow. It just depends. Are we going to get the June 22nd Glasnow, or are we going to get the July 5th and July 24th? Hopefully we get that June 22nd. His price has dropped down from $11,800. So I do not mind him at a $10,000 price, but be a little bit cautious with this. And then on the flip side, Matt Waldron, we know that he has a nasty, absolutely nasty knuckleball. 3.64 ERA is pretty good. Has already faced the Dodgers twice this year, 10.1 innings, only 3 earned runs with 10 Ks. I do not mind Matt Waldron. I'm probably looking at pitching in this one and not bats. Again, maybe that'll change. Maybe once the cheat sheet's done, the simulations are done, we will go that way. But the temperature here, I'm not looking at the pitching or the bats. I'm looking at pitching in this one. And speaking of temperature, keyword of the day, Celsius. Celsius is the keyword of the day. Do you like that little tie-in with the temperature? So does Sean Paul. Now, we get to the final game. You get J.P. Sears. You get Robbie Ray. You get the Giants at home, which is a massive ballpark, against Oakland, which is a very bad team. Should be sellers, but they don't want to sell Brent Rooker for whatever reason. They're dumb. But again, they don't have anyone on the team, so it makes sense. But let's look at this. Robbie Ray making his second start of the year. Game log, 26.9 against the Dodgers team. Dodgers are a really good team. He had 8 strikeouts in that game and only 5 innings. 26.9 fantasy points. Now he gets an Oakland matchup. Please give me the Oakland matchup there. Okay? Really hasn't seen a ton of Oakland. Shea Langoliers, 1 for 2 with a home run. You got Abraham Toro, 2 for 4 with a home run. Seth Brown, what is that, 3 for 7, 4 for 7? No, 3 for 7 with a home run. That's basically it. I want Robbie Ray. Hopefully he can go deeper than 5 innings. That's for sure. I want Robbie Ray. I don't want Oakland bats. Then the flip side. You got JP Sears only faced one person, but the Giants, who have success against lefties, Jorge Soler with 4 bombs, Matt Chapman 298 with 4 bombs, Casey Schmidt 385 with 2 bombs. You got Lamont Wade Jr. batting 421. You got Brent Wisely 342. You got Michael Conforto 302. Derek Hill 308. Elliot Ramos 431. I want a Giant stack of some sort. I don't mind a couple of different Giant stacks here. That's the way I would go. I do not want JP Sears. If you look at JP Sears, where is he at? Right here. He's got a 4.81 ERA. He has not faced San Francisco this year, but he's coming off a bad game against Houston. I could see something like this out of the Giants. He had 6 innings, but he gave up 8 runs and only 3 strikeouts. The strikeouts have been low. I want the Giants as a stack. I do not want JP Sears here. And there you have it. That is every game today that is covered. Pitchers, batters, we've got it all. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, hit that like button. Stick around. Come back tomorrow. But now it is time for Pitches Be Crazy right here, right now. So according to this, now this is not the only way to go, but Seattle strikes out the most out of any team. That signs up for James Paxton here. Now, if we look at James Paxton, I don't love him, but Seattle strikes out 10.21 times per game. And on the road, they strike out 10.08 times per game. So that leads James Paxton as number 1. I don't agree with all of these, but these are just, the stats don't lie. We are looking at the stats here. Number 2 pitcher, Griffin Canning versus Colorado. Colorado strikes out 9.69 times per game. And on the road, they strike out 10.34. So Griffin Canning could go under-owned. Number 3, Luis Castillo at Boston. Boston strikes out 9.67 times per game. And at home, they strike out 9.46 times per game. Number 4 is Robbie Ray versus Oakland. Oakland is striking out 9.44 times per game. And on the road, 10.18 times per game. And then number 5, as of right now, Hunter Brown versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh strikes out 9.09 times per game. And on the road, they strike out more at 9.87 times per game. So those are your top 5. James Paxton, Griffin Canning, Luis Castillo, Robbie Ray, and Hunter Brown, barring any of those guys getting traded, which I don't think they're going to get traded, so we should be good there. Then, the players that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating today might be a little bit weary, but these are the batters so far. Now, we run the simulations in the morning, then we run the simulations a little bit later in the afternoon, so they may change. So definitely go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. But Ian Happ is number 1. Number 2 is Ketel Marte. 3 is Kevin Pillar. 4, Ryan Jeffers, who I love. 5, Marcus Semien. 6, Corey Seager. 7, Paul DeYoung. 8, Matt Chapman. And number 9, Robbie Grossman going against Lance Lynn. Those are it. Only 9 of them. Not a ton today. We've had as little as 3. We've had as many as 31 10 out of 10 matchup ratings. So stick around. About 2 hours before first pitch, check out if the simulations have changed any, and hopefully we're able to help you. So that's what I've got in this video. Hopefully you had a great day on Monday, Sunday, whenever you played last. Stick around, hit the bell notification, because this week I'm going to start dropping some fantasy football videos. We're going to do the top 25 players at each position. Mine is outside of QBs because, not a ton of QBs out there. We're going to go through that. We're going to look at best ball. And if you guys want, stick around. We're going to drop those videos. So good luck today. And as always, let's bring them some bacon. Peace.